Minecraft 4D. The April Fool's attempt of 2010 is Minecraft's first and only failed prank, only appearing as a simple comment written by Notch regarding his plans for Minecraft 4D before real life intruded. We can only speculate as to what this dimension upgrade might have been like, possibilities of time-based mechanics in which the player could view their past and future choices at the same time, or utilizing the decade's 3D movie phenomenon by necessitating special eyeglasses to be played correctly. Based on Notch's penchant for irony and the early indie gaming industry's tendency to ridicule high-budget games, Minecraft 4D likely might have been an excellent joke regarding unnecessary technical overkill within the already perfectly fine, blocky simplicity of Minecraft. Fake Minecraft Store. The 2011 Minecraft Store prank was Mojang's first large-scale attempt to satirize the gaming industry's increasing microtransaction and paid downloadable content obsession. The elaborate mock storefront, strongly inspired by Team Fortress 2's Manco store, took the otherwise simple open world of Minecraft and flipped it into a pay-to-play hell where even the most fundamental of objects could only be accessed by spending real money. The trick was prompted by the arrival of a fresh locked chest item within the game, announcing the message, "You need a Steve Co. Supply crate key to open it. You can obtain one at the Minecraft shop." The action to go to shop would lead players to a realistic-looking mock site that was admittedly unnervingly lifelike to users who are used to seeing game stores online nowadays. The site had the same pixel art style as Minecraft, but with the polish and commercial feel of an actual online shop. The shop's inventory was a masterpiece of absurd prices, with simple items such as the Steve Co. Supply crate key costing $3. The more complex items had even more staggering prices. A miner's helmet for $21, Creeper saddle for $42, and most ridiculously, a secret Griever identity at $155. The cherry on top, however, was the response from support at $494, a masterful satire of lousy gamer customer service. The joke doesn't end here though. Featured in the store as well were the coming soon items selling for $75, $7, and a jaw-dropping $14.99, hinting this monetization only grew worse as time went on. A basic regular padlock was selling for $8, basing it off the same image used for the coming soon items to highlight how developers could resell the same content at various prices. The most nefarious aspect of the store was the out-of-ordinary checkout process. Adding to your shopping cart items costing more than $10,000 caused a pop-up to appear, inquiring as to whether or not you were prone to seizures. After clicking proceed to checkout, a Jurassic Park velociraptor would suddenly appear and growl, before flying across the screen as a jump scare, while the text on the button changed to fiddlesticks. The entire experience was like being in some corporate greed-fueled fever dream. This was Mojang's satirical way to criticize the path the gaming world was going, selling every worthless digital item. It was both hilarious and disconcertingly prescient regarding the future of games. Minecraft 2. In 2013, Mojang staged one of the most sophisticated April Fool's jokes in gaming history when they announced a Minecraft 2.0 update that was anything but real. It started off as a joke before turning into something much more elaborate than anyone could have anticipated, overhauling almost every element of the game with utterly absurd features. The update added a whole zoo of wacky mobs that flipped normal Minecraft common sense on its head. The diamond chicken was more than just a farm bird. It laid diamonds in lapis lazuli instead of eggs, but give it too much pressure and it would explode like a TNT block. It also didn't appreciate when stared at, getting upset and summoning other diamond chickens to attack the player. And then there was the pink wither, which did the opposite of its lethal relative, firing love beams which healed the surrounding ground and sped along the growth of crops. There was even talking coal, which actually exclaimed ouch when you clicked on it, and a fresh pony mob which players could presumably ride around on. But here's where Mojang was particularly clever in their creature design. They created the redstone bug mob, which was, as it turns out, a masterful meta joke. Rather than actually debugging the redstone bugs like rational developers might do, They made the actual bugs into creatures which spawned to assist with debugging instead. It was their sneaky acknowledgement of how much redstone trouble players complain about while turning it into something integral to the game as well. The strangeness didn't end with mobs though. The block mechanics were overhauled entirely with realistic consequences which would drive any dedicated player mad. Furnaces now had a heat mechanism where you had to manually control temperature or else they'd actually explode, so smelting was significantly riskier than it used to be. Torches burned out over time and had to be reignited using flint and steel, introducing an entire level of maintenance to your structures. They also introduced ethos slabs, literal TNT slabs ready to be triggered and explode everything in its radius. The technical overhauls themselves were equally insane and tested the limits of what anyone had ever thought possible in Minecraft. Super Hostile mode was an implausibly hostile survival experience for masochistic players that had zombies and skeletons wear diamond or iron armor and carry around diamond and enchanted bows for more difficult combat. This mode also turned every creeper into a charged one, greatly enhancing its explosive power. Ultra-realistic graphics were also added, promising experimental 4D rendering, which no one was actually able to understand or explain. The magic system allowed you to cast spells which would convert any item into fish or strip mobs of gravity. Those spells could go wrong based on your luck stat. The most brain-bending of it all, however, was quantum entangled redstone, made out of redstone, diamonds, and lapis lazuli, which could mysteriously link circuits between different players' worlds without any means of controlling the link. The whole thing was so meticulously detailed and technically involved that it perfectly captured what might happen if Minecraft's developers totally lost their minds while somehow managing to turn the game infinitely more complex and comically random. 2014. The following year, in 2014, Mojang took this April Fool's tradition in an entirely new direction, with what could be their most annoying prank ever. Rather than the usual fabricated features, they pulled off something actually affecting every Minecraft player whether they liked it or not. The team wrote an ominous post in their blog stating that the villagers of the latest 1.9 beta update had actually become intelligent and taken over Mojang's servers and content delivery networks. According to the dramatic declaration, this digital rebellion meant players would be held hostages under their new villager overlords until this could be sorted out. The team ominously threatening us that singularity may be upon us. What contributed to this prank being so genius was the fact that it wasn't only a mock announcement, it was actually real. All players who logged in during Minecraft that time found themselves subjected to playing as villager skins, entirely overriding whatever custom skin they had used before. You couldn't revert it back unless you understood how to manually tinker with your launcher files, something most regular users had no idea how to do. The villager takeover was complete, filling entire servers with identical lookalike NPCs running around and constructing and mining. But Mojang didn't stop there. They went full force with the theme by substituting every sound effect in the game with sounds taken from Element Animation's The Element Animation Villager Sounds Resource Pack. Suddenly, every step, every block break, every background sound was like villager hums and ha's. They even included special villager music on the title screen and added a Game of Thrones theme song mock-up to coordinate with the premiere date of the show's new season. The entire experience was otherworldly, transformative, and downright hilarious. When players realized that they had been trapped appearing as NPCs until Mojang finally decided to call off the joke the following day. The Love and Hugs update. In 2015, Mojang pulled out the full romantic comedy approach to April Fool's pranking, which made Minecraft into the most aggressively wholesome game ever made. It wasn't simply a cosmetic touch-up, it was their reimagining of the very mechanics of the game through rose-tinted glasses, crafting one version of the game in which love literally conquered all. The update swapped swords with hearts, converted TNT into non-lethal love bombs which only injured mobs, and caused creepers to pop into cute poppies instead of exploding. Combat was virtually eliminated altogether. Players could not be harmed by the void, and death by falling into nothing was not possible. The entire ideology behind the patch was to make Minecraft as safe and cute as imaginable, and this was carried out in every aspect of the game world. Even the game's most intimidating boss received the love treatment with the return of the Pink Wither, a throwback to the earlier Minecraft development which had been something of a running joke. The happy version of the otherwise frightening three-headed boss was perfectly in line with the theme of the update, which was to turn all the dark and hazardous into bright and cheerful. The potion scheme was overhauled in a way that totally embodied the update's tone of warped wholesomeness. Potion of Caring took the place of poison potions and had hostile mobs actually go towards the closest mob as if attacking it, which basically made enemies turn on each other with the aid of love. The Potion of Sharing took the place of weakness potions and made the targeted mobs drop random items such as simple food to valuable trinkets like saddles and diamonds at random. Transport received similar treatment with the addition of the Obsidian Boat, which did the absolute opposite of what you'd ever think a boat should do. It sunk the moment it hit the water. It perfectly summarized the update's theme of applying common Minecraft mechanics, flipping them entirely on their head in the most unexpected way possible. The mob updates were equally wonderful in their bizarreness. Ghasts, who were otherwise floating horrors which fired exploding fireballs, could now be used as flyable mounts, although it was not actually possible to control which direction they moved, so it was more than a tour than useful transport. Squids could fly, which made the sea's most common beast something of an airborne curiosity which had absolutely no logical basis whatsoever. The true brilliance, though, lay in the environmental tweaks that utterly disrupted standard gameplay. Villagers entirely stopped trading and instead took your stuff in exchange for the phrase, "Thanks for your donation," and a scrap of paper, reducing commerce to charity. Lava was replaced with liquid cheese, which somehow still fueled furnaces but could not harm anyone. The entire world took on a constant red glow thanks to the Love JSON shader, which could not be disabled. And clouds had been reformed into gigantic pink hearts hanging over your head. The horses could not be mounted anymore. Instead, they rode on your shoulders like large parrots. Most clever of all, the update contained a secret game of Minesweeper, which could be accessed by gathering enough love points from a special meter appearing at the top of the screen. The Love and Hugs update was Mojang's most thorough makeover to date, showing them to be able to totally rethink their game's identity without sacrificing the game mechanics hidden beneath all of that sweet saccharine stuff. The Trendy update. The 2016 Trendy update was Mojang's most over-the-top April Fool's joke yet, turning Minecraft into a stylized tech demo, perfectly satirizing our cultural obsession with smart devices and wearable tech. It wasn't another game-changing gameplay revamp, it was a wholesale reimagination of Minecraft as the fever dream of some hot Silicon Valley startup, with hip gadgets only as useless as they look super futuristic. The highlight of the patch was the Reality Vision Goggles, a helmet item that revolutionized how players perceived the game world. When worn, these technologically advanced specs provided a 3D minimap and triggered a special shader, but their most striking aspect was causing all signs to read "Obey," a wonderful nod to sci-fi cult classic They Live. Contrasting with the pumpkin overlay, which could be toggled off with F1, the Reality Vision's interface was always on, compelling players to see Minecraft through this technologically oppressive prism. Another wearable addition which amplified the tech satire even more was the ankle monitor. When equipped in survival mode, it couldn't be taken off anymore, cursing the players who strayed too far from spawn or ventured into other dimensions, with a slowing effect and threatening chat messages endangering them over their infraction. The ankle monitor perfectly expressed fears regarding surveillance tech and tracking, converting the endless world of Minecraft into one of digital imprisonment with unseen borders. However, the most ridiculously modern was the Smarter Watch, an offhand device which displayed time in readable human format and gave push notifications for gameplay milestones like reaching certain stats or crafting specific items. The smartwatch parody was spamming the chat with updates on damage done, stuff made, and stats achieved, turning the calm Minecraft experience into a barrage of digital updates. It was the ideal comparison of how our lives are intruded on by constant updates on the things we likely don't need to know about. To use all these devices, the USB block was necessary, acting identically to the redstone block but with a complex recipe of iron ingots, gold, and redstone dust needed to obtain it. The USB block was the embodiment of the new world's need to keep things charged, introducing the stress of battery life into a universe where it had never been present before. But the actual brilliance of the trendy update was how it impacted the game's mobs. Zombies, skeletons, endermen, and creepers could all spawn with new tech items, producing bizarre interactions with tech-obsessed monsters. Zombies sporting reality vision goggles would not harm players but still attack villagers, providing some creepy commentary on how technology could alter social structures. Endermen sporting goggles would not notice being stared at but still run away when harmed by the environment, while creepers were made entirely passive, not even exploding or fighting when attacked by other mobs, perfectly encapsulating Mojang's social commentary on technology and its consequences on human behavior. The Minecraft Digital Leisure Device. The 2017 Minecraft Digital Leisure Device represented Mojang's take on the Nintendo Game & Watch parody, though details about this April Fool's prank remain frustratingly scarce. Based on the grandiose marketing language promising the most enjoyable device ever held by human hands, and unsurpassed electronic power with deep simulation. This appears to have been a satire of tech companies' tendency to oversell simple products with bombastic claims. The device likely would have featured deliberately primitive graphics and gameplay while being marketed as cutting-edge technology, perfectly capturing how modern gadgets are often hyped far beyond their actual capabilities. It's a shame so little documentation survived of what could have been a brilliant commentary on digital marketing and retro gaming nostalgia.